Good afternoon, all. I had a request to do a reading on David Hawkins, and the person that brought this forward was wondering about his log of the levels or the rating of consciousness, what that's about. And I just put that log up by his image, and we will just see what happens, where he's at with his way, his focus, what's coming forward for him, and where he's at in consciousness, and then take a look at this log, or we'll just see what comes forward. Okay, here we go. Okay, so going up to his image, this one is a person of technicality. He wants to provide the world with an objective or concrete way of looking at the universe, or looking at consciousness. It is what his... Okay, so again, there's a no right away. Let's see what this no is about. Okay. So he has not completed the journey. Right away, that's what's coming up. So let's see if this is correct. So yes, he has not completed the journey. He is turbulent in his heart. He's turbulent in his mind. He's turbulent in his words that come out. So basically, he's just got a lot of turbulence in there, okay? All right, so there's really not much space in there. That's what this pendulum is initially going to. Okay, so I am hearing he's a critic. Okay, so he looks at things with a critical eye. He wants to make them into some kind of, again, provide proof of enlightenment, provide proof of different states of feelings, different states of awakening. He wants to make it this way. So again, it's saying, okay, let's again know. So is this the correct way to put out spiritual progress? So is this the correct way to put it out? Okay, so you can see the pendulum is saying, no, this is not an accurate portraying of different states of awakening. Okay, this would not be accurate, because awakening has nothing to do with something that one can feel and touch and see. Awakening has to do with going beyond those things. And this is the problem here, when many want to put it into something that people can really hold on to or see. People love that because it gives them something that is familiar. It gives them something to work with. I see a piece of paper and a pencil, like you can draw it out, you can add it up, you can make it work that way. And yet this is mental in nature. This is not the reality of what true enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not something that one sees with the eyes, hears with the ears, or is able to calculate in any way, shape, or form. Science can go only so far with portraying or giving answers to consciousness, but to really live it within that state is completely another story. Okay, so this is what this man of science gave to the world, and he did it with convincing kind of words to some people that were attracted to this type of energy, this type of mental or mathematical way of offering, I guess, a path to spiritual awakening. Okay, this is him, and he does, he also gave techniques to the world which have to do with testing of muscles, testing of strength, and when one is, certain words or energies are put into the atmosphere, then that energy will either weaken or not weaken for an individual in their strength. And usually, he's using muscle testing that way. Okay, let's see if this is a valid way of testing feelings, of testing consciousness. Okay, right away there's a no. This is not a valid way of doing that. Let's see if it's a valid way of testing feelings. Okay, so no. Let's see if it's a valid way of testing different chemistry, like medicines and things. Okay, that gets weaker, and there is a light yes, okay, because there is some, when you're speaking of chemistry, this has something to do more with the physical. So that would be more in line with that. It may have some significance for some. It is relatively a light yes. Okay, so this is the work that this man did while on earth. He did feel in his being that he had some spiritual awakening and openings. And let's see what that meant for him. Did it mean more breakthrough of different math or scientific insights? Let's see if that's what it meant for him more. Okay, so one can see it's coming up right against that image, getting a feel of it. Is this really more what this was about for David Hawkins, or was it about stillness? Was it about peace? Was it about balance? Let's see which one. Okay, so this has to do more with him coming to some kind of insights about the universe, or about energy and about consciousness. Okay, let's see if it has to do with coming to stillness and 0-point balance for David Hawkins. No. Okay, so one can see that there's a no there. Okay, let's see if his offerings were something that had value. Okay, so there is a light yes, and I think what is showing, at least for some people, to get an understanding a bit of energy, of consciousness, that it does have different types of Shakti in a way. I mean, when you look at this chart, if you go up to enlightenment, you can see, of course, enlightenment is going to have a lot more energy. Okay, it's going to resonate with, vibrate with Shakti all over the place. And then as one goes down to these more fear-based or more physical-based emotions that have to do with more personhood, these things are going to be heavier and not resonate with so much higher vibration of Shakti. Okay, this is not something that, again, he may have shown this a little bit, but really this is kind of, I want to say kind of basic in terms of energy. This is the way energy works. If one looks at something more dense, they're going to know that something more dense or heavier in nature, like these types of emotions at the bottom, are going to radiate with slower energy at a more dense, at a lower vibration, compared to someone that would be completely awake and cleaned out of all the debris. Okay, it's really kind of basic. Okay, so let's see if this is part of what he may have brought out in some ways. Did people see it that way, though? No. Okay, they really felt like he was talking as someone that was very involved in consciousness most. And again, people gravitate to this because it helps. They think they can get it mentally. They love that. Okay, you can see it's making a very big yes. This is why many gravitate to ones that speak this way. Okay, so anything else about him in body or about this chart? Not really. It's pretty light. I'm not saying no. Let's see if this chart has any significance here, and let's see what we can see from this. Okay, so what was brought out was that Jesus is at 1,000 on this chart. Jesus is at 1,000. Let's see, is Jesus at 1,000 in terms of Shakti? Okay, no. Okay. Ineffable is, okay, is Jesus higher than this? Yes, okay. And I have Mahayana Buddhism. Is this at 960 is where he placed Buddhism, which would be up here. Okay, no. So, okay, can it be placed on this chart, that type of thing? Okay, no. So let's see, the Quran was at 720, which would be up here. Would this be kind of true? Okay, you can see some energy vibrating when we say the Quran at 720. Okay, it is showing that possibly there's some energetic significance there to that one. Although you can't really put that in a box, but it is saying, it's just a book though, it's just writing, but it is showing that, it may have Shakti at a higher level like that, really is all it's saying, which a lot of books, they do resonate with Shakti. They have, you can really feel it. You can feel it in spiritual books. It's very strong. So that's really, again, all that's saying is that the Quran has a lot of Shakti, really, okay? Let's go down to love at 500. Is this about right? Okay, it's trembling there. No. Okay, so I'm sure there's different levels of love, right? So no one can say in that way. I mean, there's pure love. Okay, this would be another thing entirely. So, all right. So, okay, so let's see. There was Ramana at 850, for goodness sakes. No. Ramana was, come on, he's up there. I can't even imagine that. So there is a no. And then let's see, he and Buddha. Okay, so David Hawkins and Buddha are at 1,000. Let's see if this is, first let's say, is Buddha at 1,000? No, Buddha's not on. And Buddha, again, is a consciousness. It's pure consciousness. Okay, so is it at 1,000? No. Would it be higher? It resonates higher than this. It's all. Okay, when you say it's all, it's everything. It's all. It's nothing. I mean, how can you say that's just, I don't know, a number? But, and David Hawkins, was he at about 1,000? No. Okay, I don't want to do this, but let's go ahead and do it. Is he lower in terms of energy? Yes. Okay, let's see if he's more around reason. Okay, so reason, and he put that at 400. Reason and understanding. Is this? No, he's not. Is he there about? No. Is he lower? Okay, so he's even lower. So again, where he did is place people, he said most of 80% of the population, I believe he said, I hope I get this right, is around 200 or lower. Okay, so that's about here. You see courage, pride, anger. Okay, there's not even love in there, for goodness sake. So this feels right. I hope it wasn't 4 or lower. Maybe it was something like that. Okay, between 2 and 400 or lower. So let's see if this is right. 80% of the population. No. Okay. So they rise high to these levels. Yes, they do. They do rise higher. Serenity, reverence. They have some peace, they have some joy, they have love. Okay, so this, we're going higher for a lot of humanity, which is nice to know, right? Okay, it is certainly not up to enlightenment, but these different emotions are felt. Yes, they are. All right, and then we go with, looks like there was something else. It was just more fear, shame. Let's see if these are about right, how they resonate. Okay, no, do they resonate lower? Okay, can it be measured on here? Okay, so not really. So is it lower? These kinds of lower. Okay, so they resonate pretty low. Grief, apathy, guilt, shame, fear. Okay, those are, and you can't really, again, measure it because it's staticky. It's all over the board. Okay, so let's see if this chart here has any real significance for humanity. Unfortunately, there's a no. Okay, let's see. Boy, it really quite a no there, because it doesn't give steps. It doesn't talk. He may have spoke about surrender and things, but in terms of doing it himself, he didn't do it himself. He also wasn't able to offer a way for those people to surrender. So when they're listening to him, they get their mind more stirred up. They get their mind more attached to to numbers, to math, to, feeling like they, can grab onto something in terms of enlightenment. And this is so incorrect. Is this right, what's being said here? Okay, so yes. All right, so let's see if there's anything else in terms of this in his life, in his physical body. No. So let's see where his consciousness resides now. Okay, so again, he has passed. We know that. And, okay, so it does lift a bit there. It's not real heavy feeling. Okay, and it's sort of rising. It's circling, okay? So his mind is still circling. Okay, it's going in circles with his energy, struggling to be clear of whatever he left with. Be clear of whatever philosophies he left with. Be clear of any of this turbulence that he left with. Okay, so anything else really? Boy, it's just not really saying too much else with that. Okay, so he's still left with a lot of what, they're still struggling with a lot of what he left with. And you could see this really big yes. Okay, so people that are listening, really, in terms of enlightenment, in terms of spirituality, one has to experience that directly. It cannot be understood with maps, charts, and graphs, and math. Okay, no. Okay, so you can see the pendulum saying no, it just can't be understood that way, as much as we'd love to, because we think we can get it that way and just get an answer right or study. Okay, it cannot be learned by study. Okay, you can see that, yes, it cannot be. So, in fact, if anything, one needs to unlearn, okay, and stop all those games of logic with yourself, and allow the mind to still, to gravitate, to relax within the present moment. Okay, and not gravitate to a lot of formulas and things. Boy, people love that. Again, like I said, it gives their mind something to chew on. In fact, a lot to chew on and see where they're at and all this. But it will not help the mind to be still. It will actually stir it up more. All right, so let's see. Anything else? Okay, I hope this was beneficial, this reading on David Hawkins. I hope all are having a good evening. Namaste. Bye-bye.